ChatGPT has been running rampant on WWE 12's universe mode, and it's only going to pick things up now that we're on the road to WrestleMania. Going straight to the Royal Rumble, everyone on the roster is vying to make an impact. What does ChatGPT have in store for us next? The Royal Rumble is ready to begin, and this massive night will be kicked off with Edge challenging the United States Champion Dolph Ziggler for his title. Ziggler's cocky reign as the US Champion has drawn the ire of Edge, who is looking for new accolades. The Rated R superstar claims Ziggler's arrogance is disrespectful to the championship's legacy, while Ziggler is determined to prove he's truly the best in the business by bringing down one of the WWE's most decorated veterans. These two have been scheduled to compete locked within the confines of a steel cage to determine a definitive champion. Edge, who has been rubbing shoulders with main eventers and all-time greats, is in peak form coming into this encounter, although Dolph Ziggler is slowly becoming one of the WWE's most consistent performers and has been building an impressive resume for himself since becoming champion. This match featured moments that favored both competitors. However, Edge continued to fight back, although his efforts would come up short as Ziggler once again struck Edge down, this time from the top of the cage. This gave Ziggler enough time and separation to get his ass out of that cage, resulting in a successful title defense. In the next match, Drew McIntyre defends his Intercontinental Championship against Mark Henry, having dethroned The Miz for the Intercontinental title and following up with a successful title defense against Kofi Kingston. Drew McIntyre asserts that he's the chosen one, finally fulfilling his destiny. Mark Henry, riding high on the momentum of his recent dominant streak, challenges McIntyre's claims. Drew McIntyre's cunning and aggression face off against Mark Henry's incredible power in this clash for the prestigious championship, and the crowd was buzzing, eager to see who is going to walk away from this one the Intercontinental Champion. Mark Henry's controlling and draining offense would eventually take over during this one, and the champion found himself in a less than ideal situation with his back against the wall. In the end, Mark Henry hit the world's strongest slam, crowning a new Intercontinental Champion, much to the shock of Drew McIntyre, and things may not be looking great for the chosen one. The Women's Championship is on the line in the next contest as Maryse defends the Women's Championship against Eve Torres. Eve Torres has raised her game since pairing up with Brock Lesnar, and was quick to cement her legacy as she unseated Beth Phoenix and took hold of the women's division. The opportunistic Maryse was able to become champion in a hectic multi-woman match, though she has got to answer to the former champion in this one-on-one scenario. Maryse has never been known for her technical prowess, but she is a crafty one in the ring. However, Eve Torres has become a serious competitor in the women's division and is able to take down Maryse and recapture the women's championship. John Morrison has got his chance to write his name in the stars as he received a one-on-one opportunity to challenge Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. John Morrison has been transforming his career since the beginning of this universe mode, and it could culminate with a World Championship victory if he can knock off Brock Lesnar. However, that will be much easier said than done considering Lesnar has been dominant since his return to the WWE. It's clear that John Morrison is well aware of the opportunity that is in front of him, as he came out of the gate hot and took control of the match immediately. That control did not last long though, as the champion soon fought back, unleashing his trademark suplexes and wearing down John Morrison. The challenger wasn't going to go away easily, and the aid and interference from Michael McGillicuddy came in clutch on a number of occasions for Morrison. The challenger pulled out all the stops and did everything he could to keep the powerful champion at bay. However, Brock Lesnar proved to be too powerful and would hit a huge F5, ending John Morrison's title aspirations and securing the WWE Championship in a statement to the rest of the locker room. The final one-on-one matchup of the evening is set to be a big one, as Randy Orton defends his World Heavyweight Championship against The Undertaker. Two of WWE's biggest names will meet in the ring, as tensions between these two have been brewing since The Undertaker made his return to the roster just a few months ago. Since then, Randy Orton has been ruling SmackDown as World Heavyweight Champion, and has no intentions of surrendering that title here tonight, or anytime soon for that matter. Randy Orton's championship reign will truly be put to the test here, as these two iconic forces are prepared to leave it all in the ring in order to walk out the champion. While The Undertaker may not have claimed the championship back at the last pay-per-view, the Phenom has not been pinned since his return, and has caused just as much chaos as ever. A physical match came from these two, and they've also got plenty of history between them, meaning they'll have to be on top of their game to walk out as champion. An RKO seemed to be enough to retain the title, but the dead man would kick out of a pin attempt. The two had no ounce of quit in them, as they kept coming after the other with malicious intent. The Undertaker was eager to win the match and put Orton down quickly, but the champion never wavered. A tombstone piledriver spelled the end for the champion. However, Randy Orton would benefit from his positioning in the ring and reach the ropes. The Undertaker hit a chokeslam, and then the last ride, though that would not cut it. Another tombstone came for the champion, but once again, Randy Orton's toes got him a rope break. This was a battle of attrition, and Randy Orton had to do something if he wanted to remain champion. Randy Orton would hit an RKO, and the championship seemed to be retained until Undertaker would surprisingly kick out, extending this match. Frustrations were building between both of these guys, and the crowd were treated to a phenomenal match as a result. Randy Orton found his way out of the last ride, and there was no telling what was going to happen next. The Undertaker had Randy set up for a third tombstone piledriver, and this time, Orton could not reach the ropes and was unable to kick out. After a fantastic match, The Undertaker reclaimed the championship he never lost. It's time for the Royal Rumble match. 30 superstars will compete, fighting for a chance to headline WrestleMania and challenge for a world championship. CM Punk will enter this match first, facing some extremely steep odds to come out of this one victorious. He'll be joined by R-Truth, who has had an interesting tenure here in this universe mode, but he will go on to appear in every WWE game that has been made since, so he isn't going anywhere. Santino Marella was the next to join the match, and he was in no rush to disrupt the action. R-Truth surprisingly eliminated CM Punk just when Marella made it into the ring, bringing a shock straight out of the gate. Although this was not a precursor for success, as R-Truth was eliminated shortly after, and Santino Marella would be taken out by Alberto Del Rio. The ring began to slowly fill up with stars like Daniel Bryan and Kane, bringing upon more commotion in the ring with multiple competitors in at a time. Captain Charisma took out Daniel Bryan, and he certainly wasn't stoked about it. The Royal Rumble had an interesting pace to it, as eliminations would happen quickly, and we would not see the ring fill up like the fans had grown accustomed to. Stars would come and go, and the ring would slowly begin to fill. John Cena made a big return from injury as well, and he certainly made an impact, though he would not go the distance, as Rey Mysterio would be the one to eliminate him. Arn Anderson came back for more action in this Rumble, but he would be eliminated quickly. As the match was winding down, Triple H's WrestleMania hopes took a hit after being eliminated by former member of the Raw roster, Sheamus. The numbers were dwindling, and we would even see Randy Orton come back for more right after competing in the previous match, but Wade Barrett would knock out the Viper for good in a measure of revenge after Orton took his Money in the Bank briefcase. Sheamus was taken out of the match, and Demolition member Axe was the next to enter in a surprise moment. The Miz was launched out of the ring, and we were down to the final three: Big Show, Wade Barrett, and Demolition Axe. What a group. Things were not looking great for Wade Barrett until Big Show made a timely save. The Giant would then chokeslam the legend out of the ring, and at least the Royal Rumble winner was going to be an active competitor. Wade Barrett and Big Show win at it until Big Show would eliminate the former Nexus leader and secure a place in the WrestleMania main event. He's no D.H. Smith, but Big Show has made history. If you're interested in getting your hands on the prompts used for this universe mode, check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. On the Raw following the Royal Rumble, Triple H opens up the show, stating his mission to dethrone Brock Lesnar at Elimination Chamber. Big Show then appears, insisting his size advantage will be needed to finally stop Brock Lesnar. Edge joins as well, feeding tension and challenging both men to prove they deserve a spot in the chamber. Michael McGillicuddy and Alex Riley are in action and defending their tag team championships against the former champions, Mason Ryan and Daniel Bryan, who are hungry to regain their titles. Although, the new stars stood tall and were able to defeat the Bryan and Ryan connection, retaining their championship. Women's champion Eve Torres in singles competition against Beth Phoenix. This is a battle between two of the most dominant women in the WWE this past year, and they are looking to determine superiority with a physical contest here. Beth Phoenix seemed to have the match won until Layla came in to distract the referee, notioning that she deserves to be considered for contention as well, and in the end, Beth Phoenix would come out on top. In the main event of the night, a triple threat featuring Big Show, Triple H, and Edge will serve as an indirect preview of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. This is the first qualifying match to compete in the Elimination Chamber, granting the right to challenge Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship in just a few weeks, and there are more open spots that have yet to be determined. The Royal Rumble winner, Big Show, is in an odd position as he does not want to wait until WrestleMania for his shot and is looking to gain entry into the WWE title match at Elimination Chamber. This was a fast-paced match featuring superstars that are no strangers to the main event scene, and after high-impact moves were administered throughout the match, the Cerebral Assassin was able to take advantage, hitting a pedigree to secure the victory and the first spot in the Elimination Chamber against Brock Lesnar. Randy Orton opens up SmackDown. He calmly states that he's already conquered legends, and this time, he plans to do the unthinkable: defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, regaining his World Heavyweight Championship in the process. The in-ring action started in a big way with a 6-man tag team match, with the team of Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, and Wade Barrett taking on the team of Christian, Rey Mysterio, and CM Punk. The top flight superstars taking part in this match made for an intense atmosphere, as an impressive performance here could make a contender out of any of these participants. It was a long battle, and an exciting way to get SmackDown started. In the end, Alberto Del Rio would be able to secure a pinfall on CM Punk, taking home the match for his team. CM Punk and Rey Mysterio get into a war of words after the frustrating loss. CM Punk mocks Rey's desire to be near the world title picture, and Rey blames Punk for losing the match. Mysterio would challenge CM Punk to a match next week. We've got singles action in the next match, as Kofi Kingston and Husky Harris were set to lock up. This was a highly entertaining match between two intriguing young talents. Kofi Kingston has been around for a while now, and is looking to reposition himself as a contender again after recently coming up short in an Intercontinental title bout. However, Kofi Kingston would hit a Trouble in Paradise and secure the victory. Tonight's main event features Randy Orton and Mark Henry butting heads and going at it in an intense clash. Randy Orton would display his cunning and Mark Henry would display his unrelentless power. However, Randy Orton would win after countering the World's Strongest Slam into an RKO. Post-match, The Undertaker's gong sounds and the lights flicker. Orton would smirk, undaunted by the mind games. The next installment of Monday Night Raw opens with Triple H bragging about securing his spot in the Elimination Chamber. Brock Lesnar would interrupt the game, doubting Triple H will be able to outlast the other competitors, let alone the champion. Big Show and Ezekiel Jackson are in the next match, and the Royal Rumble winner has an opportunity to redeem his loss from the week prior. Ezekiel Jackson knew he was fading into obscurity on the roster and had to make an impact here. Unfortunately for the VIP enforcer, Big Show would come out on top here in this one, securing a spot along Triple H and Brock Lesnar within the Elimination Chamber, despite having secured a title match at WrestleMania already. Cody Rhodes and John Morrison argue before their match tonight. Morrison would claim that Cody Rhodes can't handle losing. Rhodes would then threaten to humble John Morrison. Their match would begin after a short commercial break, and John Morrison and Cody Rhodes were vying for superiority. However, John Morrison would win with the Starship Pain after a hard-fought, flashy match. The main event of the night will be another Elimination Chamber qualifying match, as Edge gets another shot at Dolph Ziggler, though this will be a non-title contest. Both of these guys have been competing at a high level, and Ziggler just came out on top against Edge in a steel cage match at the Royal Rumble, though he never scored a pinfall over the former world champion. Edge was looking for a bit of payback and brought it to the US champion, and Edge would eventually seal the match with a spear, locking in his place in the Elimination Chamber. After the match, John Morrison and his goons make an appearance, attempting to intimidate the Rated R superstar, but Edge wasn't going to back down. Jack Swagger opened the next edition of SmackDown with a convincing victory over Santino Marella, dominating his opponent and sending a message to the roster in the process. After the match, Jack Swagger would make the claim that he is coming for Mark Henry's Intercontinental title. Randy Orton cuts a chilling promo where he admits The Undertaker's psychological tactics are legendary, but claims his own cunning surpasses anything Undertaker has faced. He teases a master plan in place to bring down the dead man. CM Punk and Rey Mysterio are set to go toe-to-toe in the next contest. These are two main event caliber stars that were teammates just last week and will find themselves competing against one another in the Elimination Chamber as well. The momentum was exchanged multiple times throughout this match, and Rey hit a big 619 and it seemed to be the end of the contest. But CM Punk continued to fight on. Punk would lock in the Anaconda Vice, but Rey broke out and this match continued. It really could have gone either way, and this is just a taste of what we're going to get at the Elimination Chamber. A big kick out after a frog splash came to a huge surprise, and a second Anaconda Vice would wrap up the match in CM Punk's favor. The main event brings the World Heavyweight Champion, The Undertaker, into the ring with the formidable Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett, now riding solo, can give himself a massive push if he can pull off the upset and defeat the World Heavyweight Champion. Although, that is much easier said than done, as The Undertaker displays that his in-ring capabilities are still top tier, and has not lost the reputation of an unforgiving competitor. Wade Barrett does prove that he is a solid superstar with a bright future ahead, but he is just not on the level of The Undertaker right now, and succumbs to the Tombstone Piledriver. After the match, Randy Orton's at the stage. The Undertaker does not waver, and the two share a brief and distant confrontation as the night comes to an end. We're back on Raw, and we're looking to get started with one of the final qualifying matches to determine the participants in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship on Sunday. Kane and William Regal will start the in-ring competition. Now, I'm all for a good underdog story, but the majority of these qualifying matches have all been rather lopsided. Kane would deliver a powerful chokeslam and carve out his spot in the WWE Championship match. Layla is in action against the Women's Champion, and she is looking to insert herself into contention. Layla is a former champion in her own right and came into this match focused to make an impact. Eve Torres has been tough to beat as of late, but Layla creates some justification to her plea for contention with a victory over the champion here. The final Elimination Chamber qualifying match brings Edge, someone who has already qualified, into a tricky situation as he faces a handicap match against John Morrison alongside the tag team champions Michael McGillicuddy and Alex Riley. If Edge loses this match, John Morrison will enter the Elimination Chamber. Pretty funky circumstances here, but what ChatGPT wants, ChatGPT will get. The rated R superstar didn't flinch when stepping into this lopsided encounter, and would bring a relentless arsenal of offense upon the group of goons. However, the numbers advantage were too great. While Edge would keep his spot in the chamber match, John Morrison has now entered the fray. And Morrison wasn't going to stop there, as he had intentions of injuring Edge like he did Cena, though John Cena would actually make his return to Raw here, bringing an end to the intended attack and closing out the night with Cena and Edge standing together. The next episode of SmackDown began with the new Intercontinental Champion Mark Henry picking up a victory over Heath Slater, wrapping his victory up with the World's Strongest Slam. This would regain some momentum after the loss 2 weeks ago, and the champion then made a statement that he will take on any challenger. Kofi Kingston confronts Evan Bourne backstage, denouncing the attitude he now carries himself with and expressing his disappointment in his former friend. Evan Bourne would shrug this notion off and state that he owes Kofi nothing. Christian and Alberto Del Rio are scheduled to compete mano a mano in the next match. Both of these guys will be taking part of the SmackDown Elimination Chamber on Sunday, where the winner will earn the opportunity to challenge the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Del Rio is accompanied by Sheamus, who definitely got his hands dirty in this one. Christian and Alberto Del Rio would put on another great match, as they have done before, and as their momentum bounced from person to person, Sheamus proved to be the difference maker as he was able to aid Alberto Del Rio by bringing a steel chair into the fold while the ref was down. Del Rio struck Christian and picked up a huge victory. The main event of the evening is scheduled to bring Rey Mysterio going one-on-one with The Undertaker in a non-title match. However, this match would not happen as the cameras would show Randy Orton carrying out an attack on The Undertaker backstage. The Undertaker would not make this an easy fight and would smack his challenger right in the mouth, taking the Viper back and unlocking another level of rage. This brawl would carry on for quite a while until Randy Orton would deliver a sickening knee strike, leaving the champion in a bad way and giving the challenger a serious advantage as they go into the title match in just a couple of days. The final pay-per-view before WrestleMania 27 is upon us. We have arrived to the Elimination Chamber. The night is set to begin with a high-intensity triple threat match for the Women's Championship. Layla and Beth Phoenix are each looking to take the title away and return it around their waist, and Eve Torres has every intention of retaining the championship she has now won for a second time. This match is held within the confines of a steel cage, which makes you wonder how they can suspend a steel cage and an elimination chamber, but I digress. These ladies have been competing at a high level all year and continue that trend by providing an entertaining and unpredictable match here. After a ton of back and forth, Beth Phoenix began to gain an upper hand, but Torres and Layla wouldn't let that be the end. The fight would continue on, and in the end, Eve Torres had to pick between bringing down Beth or Layla, and that would allow Layla to get her ass out of that cage and leave the Elimination Chamber as the women's champion. In the next match, Dolph Ziggler and Cody Rhodes are going one-on-one for the United States Championship, and they will be determining the true champion by making this one a ladder match. This is a battle between two extremely bright stars in the making here in the WWE. Dolph was inches away from retaining his championship, but Cody would bring him further away from his goal. Dolph hit a huge sunset flip off the ladder, followed by a famouser, to keep Cody down long enough, allowing him to come out of this one still United States Champion in a surprising conclusion. The tag team champions Michael McGillicuddy and Alex Ryan are set to defend their tag team titles against a surprising duo, Demolition. And not only do they have a legendary team making the challenge, but they are also accompanied by John Cena at ringside, who has his own issues with Riley and McGillicuddy. The champions began the match, quickly establishing control and implementing tandem offense. Demolition Axe and Smash had to absorb some punishment, but eventually they were able to turn in some offense of their own. As the match reached full throttle, these two teams traded momentum and punishing moves. The champions went on a run that gave the impression they were walking out of here successfully, but a sleeper hold would stop the champions right in their tracks, and they would shockingly drop the titles to the returning legends. The next match of the night brings the Intercontinental Champion Mark Henry in action as he is set to defend his championship against Jack Swagger. Both of these guys have spent most of the year trying to establish themselves as a serious contender. While they haven't succeeded in capturing a world championship, they have carved out roles as tough competitors that can make a big impact at any time. Jack Swagger's natural ability was a great matchup against Mark Henry's unmatched strength, and the stakes of being champion amplified this match. Mark Henry applied his unforgiving bear hug, and Jack Swagger was able to escape before he had to submit. Jack Swagger's unwavering determination propelled him to land a huge gut-wrench powerbomb on the super heavyweight, but decided against going for the cover here for whatever reason. This would prove costly, as the world's strongest man would lock in another bear hug, and this one Swagger would not escape from, being forced to submit, and Mark Henry successfully defended his Intercontinental Championship. Our next contest has the Viper, Randy Orton, challenging the Phenom, The Undertaker, for the World Heavyweight Championship. The rivalry between these two has become more personal by the week, as they have rekindled the issues with one another, as their paths have crossed long ago. However, that was a different Randy Orton, and the Viper is intent on proving the dead man that he isn't the young kid he was the last time they shared a program together. Despite losing the World Heavyweight title, the challenger is optimistic about his chances of unseating the Phenom, whose return to the WWE was met with great anticipation and excitement, as well as another run with the world title. The Undertaker delivered a thunderous last ride powerbomb and would secure the World Heavyweight Championship with a Tombstone Piledriver. The next match is the SmackDown Elimination Chamber, and 6 top-flight superstars are competing for the chance at the World Heavyweight title come WrestleMania 27. CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Alberto Del Rio, and Christian all came into this match with the intentions of becoming champion at the grandest stage of them all. Many of these superstars have been intertwined with one another in some fashion as the year has culminated into these final weeks, but unpredictability was still at the forefront of this enduring battle. Sheamus, one of the favorites to win the match, would surprisingly be the first one eliminated after CM Punk forced him to submit. The high level of star power in this match meant the action was constantly running at full speed, and nobody in this match had any time to breathe or recollect themselves. As the match waged on, stars began to fall, and we would see the number of competitors shrink. CM Punk would be eliminated second, and it wouldn't be long before Rey Mysterio was taken out. Christian was also removed from the match, and it came down to Wade Barrett and Alberto Del Rio. The match had taken its toll on these competitors, and that was evident as Wade Barrett was able to capitalize and defeat Alberto Del Rio, crowning him as the last man standing and earning a world title shot at WrestleMania. The main event of the evening is Raw's iteration of the Elimination Chamber, and the winner of this match will walk out as the WWE Champion. Brock Lesnar will have to outlast 5 other superstars in order to retain his championship, and these are some seriously talented contenders to have to stack up against. There was only one guy in this match, John Morrison, who had not been a WWE champion before, which is a testament to the level of talent in this contest, especially considering Morrison is no slouch either. There was familiarity in the ring, but there were no alliances in this match. This was evident after, despite working together for just a moment to punish the champion, Big Show would hit a huge chokeslam on Kane and eliminate his former tag team partner. Brock Lesnar and Triple H made for an awesome sequence as they both hit their finishers, though while John Morrison would eat the pin, Big Show would resoundingly kick out of a pedigree. Big Show could have one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time, no pun intended, if he could win the WWE Championship here and then go on to win the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. Triple H was eliminated after taking an F5, and Big Show's dream scenario may just come to fruition. However, Brock Lesnar would hit another F5, this time on the massive athlete, and wrap up the WWE Championship, standing tall in one of the unlikeliest scenarios as the night came to a close. If you're excited for the series to continue on WWE 13, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the continuation of ChatGPT's Universe Mode. If we can get the video up to 500 likes, we'll be rolling out the next season in WWE 13. On the Raw following the pay-per-view, Big Show is in the ring to open up the evening. The Giant claims his shortcomings at Elimination Chamber are inconsequential, given he still has his main event spot at WrestleMania, which he will use to dethrone Brock Lesnar. Triple H would interrupt Big Show, stating he no longer deserves his WrestleMania spot and should have to forfeit it. This would lay the foundation for a big main event tonight. In the first match of the evening, United States Champion Dolph Ziggler is facing R-Truth in a non-title match. Ziggler is coming off a highly competitive ladder match and is carrying some of that momentum here, allowing him to take care of R-Truth by forcing him to submit. After the match, Ziggler would claim that he is the greatest United States champion in recent memory. Backstage, the VIP are being interviewed, in which they express their disgust that a couple of has-beens like Demolition have become the tag team champions, and they intend on changing that. In the next match, Edge is in action still dealing with John Morrison and his boys, as Alex Riley is going one-on-one with the Ultimate Opportunist. This was a display of a legend past his prime, but still a great competitor butting heads with a young talent that has the potential to be something great if he doesn't get released before his potential could be realized. An entertaining match came from these two, but Edge would be the one to come out on top here. In the main event, Big Show and Kane have reunited to take on the team of Brock Lesnar and Triple H. This is a huge clash of stars, all who have had their hand well within the WWE title scene throughout the year, making for a highly competitive battle that would challenge every man making for a highly competitive battle that would challenge every man involved. The champion, Brock Lesnar, has got to keep his wits about him, as even his partner has their eye on his WWE Championship. All of this uncertainty may have knocked the champion off of his game a bit, or maybe it was the non-existent time in between the Elimination Chamber and Monday Night Raw. But Big Show made a big statement when he pinned the champion to secure a win for his team, leaving Brock Lesnar furious as the show goes off air. The Undertaker stands in the ring with his World Heavyweight Championship, proclaiming that Randy Orton's arrogance costed him the World Heavyweight title. He calls out Wade Barrett, daring him to try his luck tonight if he wants to rest in peace early. Kofi Kingston is granted a Cruiserweight Championship match against Evan Bourne to start off the in-ring competition. Evan Bourne is one of the few recent Cruiserweight champions who have a successful title defense in recent memory, and is looking for another. However, Kofi Kingston came into this one with sheer intensity, overwhelming the champion and marking a new accolade for the extremely talented Kingston. Wade Barrett takes stage in the ring, boasting about his recent success and his guaranteed title shot. He demands an opportunity before WrestleMania to dethrone Undertaker. Sheamus would interrupt Barrett, scoffing at the notion and stating he is the one who deserves a shot before WrestleMania. The next match brings the Intercontinental Champion back in the ring as Mark Henry faces a rather large opponent in Vladimir Kozlov, who unfortunately for him, ChatGPT just doesn't see as anything more than enhancement talent, and takes the loss to the champion. The main event is a huge match, as The Undertaker will not make Wade Barrett wait until WrestleMania for the title match he earned at Elimination Chamber. A massive battle for the World Heavyweight Championship is underway, and neither man was going to give in, as The Undertaker knows what it takes to be in this position, and Wade Barrett is intent on making good on this opportunity. Ever since his return, The Undertaker has shown no mercy on anyone on the SmackDown roster, and with another impressive performance in the works, it seemed that The Undertaker was going to take down another threat to his championship. The Phenom hit the Tombstone Piledriver, and victory was right on the cusp, but Wade Barrett wasn't giving up easily either. As the match continued, Randy Orton made his way ringside and would ultimately make a huge impact on this match, as he would feed Wade Barrett a chair at an opportune time, shocking the crowd as he went for the cover, though The Undertaker refused to allow his reign to end this way, and would send a shockwave through the audience as he himself kicked out. Wade Barrett and Randy Orton couldn't believe it, but Barrett had to lock in, as this match was not over yet. While the champion did kick out, it was clear he had taken a great deal of damage, and Wade Barrett would continue to keep the pressure on, eventually hitting a wasteland slam that would spell the end for the Phenom, ending the show in a truly shocking change of hands of the World Heavyweight Championship just weeks before WrestleMania. To open up the next episode of Raw, Edge and returning John Cena are set to compete in a handicap match against the trio of John Morrison, Michael McGillicuddy, and Alex Riley. John Cena was taken out of action and forced to miss the Royal Rumble thanks to this group, and the two veterans are looking for some revenge. Cena and Edge did their best to isolate John Morrison, the leader of the group, and their approach was rather effective. However, the gang of goons would take advantage of the numbers and ultimately score another victory on the pair of former world champions. Ahead of their tag team match, Demolition Smash was found beaten down backstage. This would change the scheduled tag team match into a singles match, as Demolition Axe now had to take on Zack Ryder one-on-one. It's clear the VIP are intent on snatching the tag team titles back from Demolition, but they've come up short countless times before. Axe brought power and control into this match, and Zack Ryder had a tough time overcoming the slow-paced offense of one half of the tag team champions. And despite the best efforts made by Ryder, Axe would come out on top here, and in a strange sequence, Axe would then be confronted by SmackDown competitor Drew McIntyre. What could this mean? Is McIntyre the attacker? Is he joining the VIP? Or will this all end up being totally irrelevant and unrelated? The main event of the night is a table match between Triple H and Big Show. Triple H feels that Big Show is undeserving of the WWE title shot at WrestleMania considering he lost in the Elimination Chamber, not acknowledging the fact that Triple H himself also came up short in that very match. Nonetheless, Triple H has been given an opportunity. If he can secure a victory here, he will insert himself into the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, making the one-on-one contest a triple threat. This wouldn't be the first time these two have shared the main event spotlight at WrestleMania, though Big Show is intent on keeping his one-on-one opportunity just that, a one-on-one opportunity, and he would do so thanks to the puzzling interference from Ezekiel Jackson. Regardless, Big Show speared Triple H through a table to end the match and secure his one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Randy Orton is in the ring to start the show, ready to explain his actions. Randy Orton states that after losing to The Undertaker at Elimination Chamber, this rivalry has become personal. Randy Orton acknowledges that he can win the world title at any time, but can only end The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak once. Randy Orton officially lays the challenge to the Phenom for a one-on-one contest at the grandest stage of them all. New Cruiserweight Champion Kofi Kingston is set to make his first title defense against Chavo Guerrero. It's been some time since Kofi Kingston has held a championship here in the WWE, and he is fired up to once again be doing so, as made evident by his high level of energy and exhilarating offense. Chavo has had a great year and can always make the case to contend for the Cruiserweight title, but Kofi is on a roll and delivers a dominant title defense. Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus confront Wade Barrett backstage, belittling his accomplishment and denouncing it as a tainted win. Wade Barrett fires back, stating they should be more concerned with their own dwindling relevance. Rey Mysterio and CM Punk are once again going one-on-one here on SmackDown, as both are looking to get back on track after coming up short at the Elimination Chamber. Another exciting contest was in store from these two, and their familiarity is causing the necessity of throwing different offenses at their adversary here. CM Punk scored the victory last time these guys locked up, and is looking to score a second in a row. However, his aspirations were cut, and he took the loss here, much to his own surprise. After the match, CM Punk took his frustrations out on Rey, and carried out an attack on the masked luchador. The main event of the night is a big tag team match, as Intercontinental Champion Mark Henry and Christian are teaming up to do battle with Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio. This was a collision of two powerful teams, with each individual a formidable competitor. Sheamus displayed his might, and Alberto displayed his cunning, as the heels began to take control. Christian's undying resilience and Mark Henry's incomparable power would keep this team in the fight. However, Sheamus would ultimately end the match by securing a pin on Christian, with the heels making a big statement to end the night. Back on Raw, John Cena opens up the night with a promo. Cena speaks to John Morrison, his former friend, tag team partner, and big match John. He challenges Morrison to a match at WrestleMania, a loser leaves town match, to finally settle their differences. John Morrison would come out and accept this challenge, only on the condition that a title match would be awaiting him after putting John Cena down for good. Daniel Bryan and Mason Ryan will clash in a battle between the Bryan and Ryan connection, as the winner here will be declared the #1 contender to Dolph Ziggler's United States Championship, and the match would take place at WrestleMania on top of that. These partners engaged in a battle that could propel themselves into superstardom, even knowing it may be at the expense of a friend. However, these two are competitors and know what's at stake, and certainly don't expect their partner to take it easy. It was a back and forth battle between two guys who know each other very well, and in the end, Daniel Bryan would be the one to come out on top, securing a shot at Dolph Ziggler's championship. After the match, The Miz would make an appearance, touting that he too will be coming for the United States Championship at WrestleMania on Sunday. The final women's match on WWE 12 will feature Layla defending her championship against Kelly Kelly. Layla is intent on walking into WWE 13 as the women's champion, although Kelly Kelly, certainly the underdog in this situation, is determined to pull off the upset and snatch the title from Layla. The champion was aggressive, but Kelly Kelly wouldn't be shaken, as she would pull off the big upset and capture the women's championship. The main event of Raw has Triple H and Kane squaring off. This has been a storied rivalry throughout the year, and these two big names are going to close out the final Raw of the WWE 12 era with another physical battle. While there may not be much on the line in this one, these guys are intense competitors and intend on doing damage anytime they step in the ring. A fine match was on display, and Triple H would hit another pedigree to take home the victory. After the match, these veterans displayed a show of respect after the numerous times they've tried to tear one another apart this year. SmackDown opens up with the camera capturing Rey Mysterio and CM Punk brawling with one another backstage. These two are entwined in a highly personal feud and will look to settle their differences at WrestleMania as Rey puts his mask on the line. Santino Marella and Yoshitatsu are set to go toe-to-toe in the next match in a collision of extremely relevant members of the roster. While their tenures haven't been uber successful, these are two beloved talents and capable workers who were finally given an opportunity to put on a competitive match for the fans. They delivered when given the chance, and Yoshitatsu came out of this one on top. The Undertaker cuts a promo in an eerie location, stating that he is not afraid of Randy Orton, and losing the World Heavyweight Championship did not faze him. The Phenom would remind Orton of the countless names that have all fallen at WrestleMania, and Randy Orton will soon be reminded of what it feels like. Mark Henry has his hands full as he is set to defend his Intercontinental Championship against Alberto Del Rio. The champion has been carrying a great deal of momentum since he won the gold, but the size of the target on his back continues to grow with each successful title defense. Alberto Del Rio has consistently been making an impact since his arrival here on SmackDown, though he has not earned any gold to show for it. Mark Henry has managed to transform the state of his career over the past year and is looking to build on his recent success. The rugged style of Alberto Del Rio and the powerful menace that is Mark Henry made for a match that could go either way, and in the end, Alberto Del Rio would unseat the champion and earn his first singles accolade here in the WWE. The main event of the evening and the final match before WrestleMania 27 will feature the World Heavyweight Champion Wade Barrett going one-on-one with Christian. Wade Barrett has had quite the year, as we saw him take part in the formation and dissolution of the Nexus, an intercontinental title reign, winning the Money in the Bank, losing the Money in the Bank, and now becoming world champion. Naturally, this would make him a favorable target to defeat, and if Christian could come away victorious here, might just find himself with some plans for WrestleMania. Although that wasn't going to be easy, as Wade Barrett was determined to deliver a strong showcase as new champion. After a Wasteland Slam, the champion would in fact come out of this one on top. After the match, Sheamus appeared and attacked Wade Barrett, stating he will be challenging for the World Heavyweight title in just a couple of days. We have finally arrived at WrestleMania 27. It's been a huge year full of twists and turns, and the night is set to start off with a huge World Heavyweight Championship match between the challenger Sheamus and the champion Wade Barrett. These two men have emerged as elite young talents who may just become the faces of the company over time. Sheamus has been one of the most dominant and fierce competitors in the WWE, and Wade Barrett has had one of the most storied first years on the main roster of all time, though it's not often the champion is coming into his own title match as the underdog. While this match has not had a ton of build to it, there is plenty at stake, as being recognized as the best in the business is a driving force for both of these superstars. The hard-hitting and physical nature of these two heavyweights made for a ground-shaking battle of wills. Sheamus hit the bro kick and Wade Barrett looked to be relinquishing the championship, though Barrett would overcome his adversary here and land a Wasteland Slam that would cement Wade Barrett as a rightful champion and tough as nails. The next match of the night will see the tag team championships on the line, as the legendary team of Demolition is going to defend the tag team titles against the VIP, Zack Ryder and Ted DiBiase Jr. in a clash of generations. Demolition represents the early 90s and late 80s, whereas the VIP represents the present and the future. Ryder and DiBiase made this rivalry personal by launching attacks on the Demolition members, keeping them on their toes and not allowing them to stay at 100%. The champions came out strong though, showing they weren't going to allow a few measly attacks to keep them down, although that wasn't going to win the match, and the cocky young superstars continued to keep their offense at full force. In the end, the VIP would take down the legendary tag team, regaining the championships for themselves. John Cena and John Morrison are once again going one-on-one here at WrestleMania, and this time, the loser has got to see his way out of the WWE. These two electrified the tag team title scene in the SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 season, and truly defined the United States title division on Raw shortly after, and not to mention, have constantly found themselves included in the main event picture throughout this universe mode. The flash and style of John Morrison and the power and grit of John Cena made for a compelling tale of jealousy, betrayal, and perseverance. John Morrison had been holding the upper hand on John Cena for some time, even putting him on the shelf for a while, but John Cena would get the last laugh, as he picked up the victory here and would send his former partner on his way. Another grudge match is on deck as CM Punk and Rey Mysterio face off in a highly personal contest where if Rey loses, he must forfeit his mask. CM Punk has been unhinged since taking a loss at the hands of Rey, someone who CM Punk believes is not the same wrestler he used to be. Each man holds a victory over the other in recent weeks, and a victory here will establish some great momentum to build off of in the next year. High-impact moves were exchanged throughout this match, and the crowd was left on their feet during the duration of this contest. Rey fought with everything he had, and he wasn't going to let his mask get taken away from him. Again, a GTS was hit and it was not looking good for Rey, but he kicked out and kept fighting. A 619 was landed, but that wasn't the end of the match either. These two continued to beat each other down, but Rey would ultimately land a big frog splash that would end the match in his favor, keeping his mask in his possession. In the next match, The Miz and Daniel Bryan challenged Dolph Ziggler for the United States Championship in a ladder match. Daniel Bryan earned a title shot against Dolph Ziggler, who claimed to be the greatest United States champion in recent memory, which sparked a surprise appearance from The Miz, who came over to Raw to challenge Ziggler's confidence. All three of these guys are solid competitors, namely The Miz, who has a historic world championship reign under his belt. but hasn't been able to build that same kind of momentum since his injury, so he needs to re-establish himself through other means. Daniel Bryan has shined this year alongside Mason Ryan in the tag team division, but he is determined to prove that he is not a tag team competitor. The constant distractions from the opponents left an avenue where The Miz was able to capitalize on Dolph Ziggler's hands being full with Daniel Bryan, making way for a new United States champion in shocking fashion. It's time for the Raw main event, as Brock Lesnar defends his WWE Championship against Royal Rumble winner Big Show. There has been a shuffle of contenders stepping up only to be knocked down since Brock Lesnar has made his return to the WWE earlier in the year, and Big Show is a part of that list. What makes things different in this encounter? Big Show is riding a monstrous wave of momentum, of not just winning the Royal Rumble, but also scoring a pinfall victory over the champion in tag team action in a recent episode of Raw. Brock Lesnar's confidence has experienced some cracks, and this is clearly not the same unforgiving Brock Lesnar that we have grown to become used to. Big Show landed a massive right hand and thought he had the championship won, but Brock Lesnar would kick out. And maybe we are going to see the Lesnar of old pull through here. The champion displayed his unique strength and was setting up for an F5, but Big Show managed to get out of it. The Giant then planted the champion with a chokeslam, spelling the end, until Lesnar would once again kick out, and the match continued. The fans lost their minds when Brock Lesnar kicked out, as everyone in the arena was sure a new WWE champion was about to be crowned. Big Show didn't allow the celebration to last long though, as he would continue to pummel into Brock Lesnar until he was weak enough for the Giant to collect the pin. While Big Show is the larger man, it still felt like an upset, that nobody believed he would actually do it, because I certainly did not think he was going to pull that one out, but Big Show did in fact make history and become the new WWE champion. The WrestleMania main event. Randy Orton and The Undertaker are ready to go at it in a last man standing match. No championships on the line, just the pride of Randy Orton and the undefeated WrestleMania streak that belonged to The Undertaker. The crowd was immediately on their feet for this one, and the match had just gotten started. A ton of animosity had brewed between these two, as Randy Orton became obsessed with dethroning The Undertaker and casting the first blemish on his perfect WrestleMania record. After Randy Orton couldn't become the champion himself, he then felt the need to get involved elsewhere, ensuring The Undertaker lost the title, even if it wasn't the Viper taking the spot as champion. Orton believes the championship is temporary, but being the one to ruin The Undertaker's streak will make him immortal, to be remembered forever. This last man standing match will allow these top superstars to finally settle their differences, and it may just eliminate them in the process. The Undertaker came out focused and seemingly invincible, but Randy Orton certainly wasn't going to just roll over, and fought back, smacking the Phenom in the mouth, and reminding the WWE Universe that while his actions may be despicable at times, Randy Orton is a fearless competitor. This was a highly personal contest, and it wasn't enough to end the match with a pinfall, but instead beating your opponent so severely that he could not answer a 10 count, though the rage of The Undertaker would not be contained, and after another tombstone piledriver, we would see the dead man continue his WrestleMania streak, extending it to 19-0, though the night would end with Wade Barrett sending a message that he is the face of SmackDown, setting up some huge conflict for WWE 13. That's going to do it for the WWE 12 season of our ChatGPT Universe mode. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so you know when we launch the next season in WWE 13. Thank you so much to the real ones on Patreon. You guys are awesome and your support is greatly appreciated. As for everyone else, thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.